guys, today we're going to dive into the world of Korean food. The craze about Korean food is so real everywhere in the world now, but the Korean food that I'm going to introduce you today will be so new and unimaginable that you might want to come to Korea just to try these. There's a very cute webtoon on Pocket Comics called What's for Lunch Today, which has all these foods that I'm going to introduce you today and all the other Korean food, so make sure to check it out if Korea is on your travel list after the pandemic and you want to make some to-eat list. Then let's get started. 짜장면. 짜장면. Also known as black bean noodles in English, jjajangmyeon is one of the favorite noodles of Korean people. It is a stir-fry noodle which has sauce that includes vegetables like peas, onion, potatoes, and a little bit of pork as well. Its black paste might seem intimidating at first, but there's nothing to worry because it comes from a sauce called chunjang, which is a dark brown paste, and there's nothing to be scared of other than the fact that it might get a little addictive because it's so tasty. Interesting fact about jjajangmyeon is that it's a classic moving day food because it's one of the first delivery foods in Korea and also it has a very fast delivery. Number 2, Chunmoo Kimbap. Chunmoo Kimbap. Many of you are already familiar with kimbap, which is a Korean-style wrap with rice and cooked vegetables wrapped in seaweed. But have you ever heard of Chunmoo Kimbap? Chunmoo Kimbap is a little different than kimbap because it's just rice wrapped in seaweed and it's very smaller than ordinary kimbap, which is a perfect bite size. Well, why so bland? Korean food is never bland. Chunmoo Kimbap is always served with seasoned squid and omuk. What's omuk? Omuk is a Korean ingredient which is made by ground fish and also flour, which is also called fish cake. Another key part to Chunmoo Kimbap is seokbakji, which is radish kimchi that is very crunchy and salty. Last but not least, the set is complete with fresh green radish soup because other two side dishes can be a little spicy and this is helpful to cleanse your palate before having another bite. When you have Chunmoo Kimbap, it's always these four together, never just the rice and seaweed. It's a very unique local food that you can only find in Korea. 부대찌개. 부대찌개. Army stew. This 부대찌개 army stew is not made from ARMY BTS fans, but from actual army troops. The name army stew, 부대찌개, has a little bit of sad origin because it is made with scraps and leftover ingredients from US military base shortly after the Korean War. That is why it has some Western ingredients like baked beans, sausages, and Spam. Later, Koreans adapted it to their palate by adding some spicy sauce and extra vegetables, which later became one of the favorite stews of Korean people. 곰탕. 곰탕. 곰탕 sounds like bear soup when you look at the meaning literally because 곰 in Korean is bear and soup is tang. However, 곰 here comes from the word 고운, which means to boil. So it means boiled soup. This soup is literally made by boiling beef and beef bones for a very long time, brewing the saltiness and the delicious part of the beef, meat, and bones. Some people prefer adding noodles in their 곰탕 and some people prefer adding rice in their 곰탕. The longer you boil, the deeper the taste. So sometimes in Korea, you can find some restaurants that says broth that is boiled for 24 hours. Next one is 수제비. 수제비. What is sujebi? Well, it looks like this. It is actually made out of hand-pulled dough, so the size and shapes are irregular. It has flat shape, it has thick shape, it has small size and big sizes. The texture of sujebi is kind of chewy. It's like gnocchi. And it's also nice when you eat with kimchi. It is a soul food that Koreans can think of when it becomes winter times. So this is it for today. We looked at some Korean foods from the webtoon What's for Lunch Today, which I need in my life. I think of what to eat for lunch today because there's so many good, delicious Korean foods that you can eat. So if you want to know more about Korean food and if you have plans to come to Korea, this is a must-watch webtoon. And if you want to read it in Korean, visit Comico, in English, Pocket Comics. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.